back again, episode 4, and I'm joined by Greg Hazelby for Focus Behind the Cloud, the podcast that looks at all the people that make up Focus Cloud and make it such a great place to work. So welcome, Greg.
Thanks, Ryan.
No worries. So
this is going to be the best episode, right?
Yeah, well,
okay, good. Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right.
Going to be the 4th.
Well,
best,
that is the one. Yeah.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. So obviously, so everyone who's listening who doesn't know Greg is part of Focus Cloud, our Workday Recruitment brand, and specialises in working on the Scandinavia market. So yeah, welcome. So Greg, you've been with us 3 years.
3 years this year, yeah. In about 10 days' time, I think.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I know.
That quick.
I know. It's gone quick.
Today we are filming down in the Brighton office because the London office is currently undergoing a move, and the podcast room isn't quite set up yet. So thanks for coming down, Greg, making the
Pleasure.
trip. So Greg, before we kick off, we'd like to kind of just go into a little bit about yourself and how you kind of got to Focus Cloud all those years ago. Obviously, kind of working in the Scandinavian market is obviously not your the first time doing it, but just take us, through like why Focus Cloud in the beginning.
Why Focus? I was doing this would be my 5th year in recruitment. When I first got into the industry, I was doing more data science, AI.
Okay.
But it wasn't really my thing. I couldn't get my head around the subject matter. So I think a big thing with recruitment or any kind of sales job is you've got to be quite passionate about what you're talking about.
Just have a general interest in it.
A general interest.
Yeah. From the beginning.
So I was looking at what was happening across looking at what was happening across the world and different companies and new technologies being added and what that means for an organisation. And I started to explore like the change transformation side of recruitment. So I started speaking to some Rec to Recs, and I was introduced to Focus Cloud, and I liked the technology that we recruit for, which is Workday, or was Workday back then. And it really interested me because it sort of incorporated what I enjoy about watching a business go from point A to point B. What challenges they face, how they overcome that, the impacts it makes, plus also the technology that's going to be implemented. And Workday was something you could sort of get on board with.
No, good. I think from my experience in the Workday market, also being in a Focus Cloud for 5.5 years, you can see that growth throughout, I suppose, well, not obviously throughout the US, but throughout Europe, and seeing it strengthen its position continually year on year. And obviously, COVID's had an effect and all that kind of stuff. But no, so obviously, 3 years ago, time has flown by. Initially joined us at Liverpool Street in the Harry Potter cupboard of an office.
It was very small,
Fit like 6 people in there, 8 people maybe.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun because you could see what we was all trying to do as a team. I don't mean visually. I mean as a business, we could all see what we was trying to achieve. So we started off small, and then got to a point now where I can drive down and come to a Brighton office and look at the beach.
The lovely beach. The view is something to behold, to be fair. So now we've gone from Harry Potter cupboard to moving into 8th floor.
Yeah. Penthouse.
Almost the penthouse suite, right? How many desks is that going to fit? Like 60.
Plenty.
Yeah. With a breakout area and all the rest of it. The growth is there to be seen, right? Awesome. So, in terms of, obviously, you talk about the technology, but as a recruiter doing tech recruitment, fairly sought after in the rec to rec kind of world. I'm guessing Focus Cloud wasn't your only suitor at the time. No,
it wasn't. I wasn't specifically looking for Workday.
Sure.
It wasn't Workday that was the driver. It was the change transformation thing that was what I was looking at mostly. But incorporating the two together, it was more exciting. So Rec to Rec put me on to Focus Cloud, had a chat with Nick Donovan to start off with. And to be honest, I ummed and ahed about whether I was going to join.
Did Nick put you off?
I thought, you are so good looking, I don't think I can work with you.
Oh, Nick.
But had a real think about it. I really like what what I was being told. But I didn't know. I didn't think it was. Didn't think it was like a perfect fit. Not that anything is. And then, luckily enough, I was invited down to speak to Lloyd.
Right.
And at that time, when 3 years ago, we were still very much a small outfit or a business, and you could really sort of buy into what Lloyd was trying to do. Yeah, what Lloyd was trying to do with the organisation. So that was the sort of kicker for me, really. That was that moment when I thought, do you know what, this is going to be pretty good. Plus, also as well, I because I've been doing the Nordics or Scandinavia, since I started recruitment, I was quite familiar with the landscape. So sure. I could walk in there, understand the majority of the cultures, understand the businesses that I was going to try and work with anyway.
Yeah.
So I had that familiarity, but obviously with the added benefit of doing something that I was a bit more on board with or passionate about.
No, awesome. You touched there about the Scandinavian market and the landscape and the way the businesses work, and I think you can go into that a bit more with the way that Workday has kind of evolved through that, and the way that I think the working cultures and things have changed over time there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we touched on it, having the chat before we jumped on this, how things have evolved. Is it a case of like skill shortages? What's going on in the Scandinavian market from a Workday point of view?
With Workday or any new system, you're always going to have skill shortages, and I think with a system like Workday, it's so easy for everybody to use. It's just one system. Everybody gets the same system. It's tweaked a little bit for different businesses, but the usability of it is so easy, which is why the adoption rate has been so good worldwide, not only in Scandinavia. But like any new technology, a lot of customers seeing what their competitors are doing, and they want that shiny new toy. So the knock-on effect of one company having it is sort of gone like wildfire. And with that, if the technology sort of outpaces people's level of skill in it, then we're going to get a deficit across the board, which is going to be like that for quite some time.
Probably not helped by COVID and the rest of the global situation.
No, I mean that kind of all those policies that were enacted by the governments didn't really help. It slowed down development opportunities for people, but people have picked it up pretty quick straight after. People are back into the flow of it.
I think skill shortages kind of increased because projects have
paused. Yeah. So what happened 2 years ago was everyone, most people didn't know what was going on, so everything was paused. All the projects were paused, and then you had this surplus of skill that come onto the market, but there wasn't enough jobs out there. And the minute that we came to a point of stabilisation, or the world came to a stabilisation, Workday resold. It sold massively and quickly as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the skills weren't there, or the people weren't there. But the benefit of that really is that a lot of these companies now are not looking local.
Sure.
They're looking worldwide, European-wide for people, which is great. It's so good for them because they're going to get maximum exposure of the wider talent pool, plus get a different perspective on things as well. You bring people in from a different culture, they got a different perspective.
Sure. So was it like before? Was it very much perm on site?
Yeah. So the natural culture that we saw, or that I've been seeing over the last 5 years, or at least 3 years, really, it's been predominantly permanent placements. A lot of Scandinavians want to go from permanent opportunity to permanent opportunity. But now we've seen like this real shift towards the contracting market opening up.
Right.
That sort of culture shift is massive, really, because again, it gives a contractor who's sitting in Stockholm the opportunity to work with a company in Paris or a company in the UK, which is never before as a permanent person. So the world has certainly opened up over the last couple of years, and it's a really good time for anybody that wants to explore both sides of the fence.
Interesting. So if you were talking to anyone who's currently perm and they're hesitating about going contract, whether it's in Scandinavia or across the board, what was your advice to them? Just give us a call and go and do it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
It's got your risks.
Yeah, everything has its risks. People 3 years ago, people would have thought that their permanent roles were a safe haven.
Sure.
But if a company goes bust, they're not. So there's risk in everything we do in life, but it depends what you want out of your working experience. I think a lot of people that have been in the Workday world for quite some time in permanent roles are now looking to apply their skills in a contractual sense, and then that gives them the freedom to work with more customers. It's an opportunity to earn more money. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. That a lot of contractors are in it for more money. But your exposure to the wider ecosystem is massive. And you can be on a project for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. The world's your oyster.
Sure.
As long as you do your due diligence and understand what it means to be a contractor and the benefits that you don't get.
Sure.
Things like looking after your health and insurance, all that kind of stuff. But we've seen some very, very good people go from perm to contract and never look back.
That's good. It's interesting. I think, if anyone's unsure about it, just give us a shout. Yeah,
it's something.
It's conversation.
It's something that we do on a daily basis. Yeah. We understand what it means, that transition. We can help people transition from permanent to contract. And at the end of the day, if it's not something that you want to pursue after a period of time, there's a permanent market back there. But we've got the team who are knowledgeable enough to help people transition.
Sure. Yeah. And I guess, like you say, it's not just, you're not locked into that Scandinavian market now, or just the European market. You can start to move around.
You've got worldwide, I mean, even, if you want to work on a different time zone, you can do Asia, you can do the US. I mean, the world's your oyster, really. And especially now, I mean, most people are capitalising on the fact that they can just, they can work at 10 o'clock at night till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Let that natural flow go, all the night hours. So with that being said, you talk about kind of people moving perm contracts and things like that. You've got I suppose the flow of the Workday market and how it's grown and people picking up the projects. Have you seen like the years of experience in like Workday skills? Kind of, is that a bit of a problem? I know we've had things with people looking for those project managers that might have had 4 years experience, 5 years experience, as opposed to, I suppose, the Scandinavian market is fairly youthful.
It's relatively new. There's just over 100 customers there spread across all of the countries. But really and truthfully, it's still a fledgling market. It's still really new. There are those people that have been in Workday for a long, long time. But it's really dependent on the customer. What do they want? Do they want somebody that's more junior that can be moulded into something else or something better, or do they want highly experienced people to come and lead teams? But as a market in general, it's still relatively new compared to like a UK market or a US market where adoption was quite early.
Sure. So in terms of going and get those skills that are a little bit more mature, a little bit more experienced, is that them needing to dip into the more mature side of the European markets, going into the UK market and saying, look, here's an offer that you can't refuse, come and work for us, or offering those contracts out to...
I mean, there's the opportunities out there for people to drive their career in whatever direction they want it to go in. I mean, we have that exposure across all of those markets, so it's more a case of how far do you want to push the boundaries, and then we'll facilitate it. I think that's what's the beauty of what we do, is we're not stuck in one particular region or one particular country. We're exposed to the world. So if people want to, if people have got a year and a half worth of experience and they want to accelerate that, well, they've only got to come and talk to people in the know, and they'll be able to get that exposure.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose that's probably the same for clients as well, right? They haven't got to stick to that local talent.
No, and this is, I think that's kind of a misconception. As long as the, let's say, English language is the business language, then again they can move into other different markets or different regions and cherry pick from their from a wider talent pool. They don't necessarily have to look local anymore. They can look outside that. There's obviously payroll and things like that issues, but a lot of companies can overcome that if they've got subsidiaries or their companies in different locations. Sure. That's quite easy. But yeah, I mean the customers can, from a recruitment perspective, they don't have to just sit there, put an advert out and just hope for the best. When you're dealing with niche agencies, and I'm not just talking about Focus Cloud, I'm talking about other agencies that just specialise in a certain area. Yeah. The time to hire is cut so fast. Your time to hire is not months; it's suddenly become week.
Yeah, days in some
cases. Days in some cases. When it comes to contracting, days, hours. Yeah. Which is what we promote, and it is, and that's just because we've over the last 6 years. We've worked tirelessly to build up a network of people that we speak to regularly that we can lean on.
Yeah.
And that's not, that's not an easy thing to have done, but it's going to benefit the wider market when you come to recruiting.
Yeah. No, great point. And that natural kind of, that osmosis throughout the Workday market in general worldwide, I think is sped up a little bit over the last year or so with I think COVID restrictions disappearing, everyone working more remotely, flexibility is coming in massively. So yeah, that's huge. So just to cap that, what I suppose if you have to give one bit of advice to a candidate and a client, what would you say? What are those problems? What people coming to you and saying, Greg, this is the problem I've got right now? What's the most frequent bit that you can kind of solve?
The customer side of it, I think the biggest issue for most customers is wasted time. You can see by the activity on social media, LinkedIn, the time that their internal talent team have to. Waste is the wrong word. It's not a waste, because you do get to see a lot of different profiles and CVs, but it's finding that relevant CV. That is what customers are constantly saying. Yes, we've got an advert out, and then you ask them, well, how many good profiles have you seen out of those 10 that have applied? None.
So is it the wrong kind of advert? Are they looking for the wrong skills? Do they know what they're actually looking for?
Well, what we try and do, and this is the difference between popping an ad online and actually having a conversation, is that you can understand the little nuances which you can't get across on an advert.
Yeah.
You can't put the little things that will make a massive difference to a recruitment process on an advert.
Sure.
You only get that by talking to the customer, understanding where the problem lies, why they can't get people through the door, what are you doing slightly differently, and just that last little sentence or that bullet point that they didn't put on the profile, that could make all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
But that's what we talk about. That's how we talk about a role. That's how we talk about a customer, what they're trying to do. What it means for you to go from this customer to that customer, the benefits that you're going to give them, and the benefits you can't put that in an advert. It'd be too long. It'd be like War and Peace.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's what we do differently. That's why it's not just our network is not just candidates. Our network is customers as well.
Yeah, of course.
Because they've been either a candidate's been a customer or customers have been a candidate at one point in time.
There we go. That's it. I think a lot of it comes down to being open to that little bit of education as well. Because if you've picked up a new platform, you're not going to know.
No, and this is it, because we deal with early stages implementation, so we get to talk to project managers who have seen it multiple times. So we actually understand, what it means, this rollout, what it means to the customer, what's going to happen at this stage. And like you say, it's just about educating them. Yeah. We know our stuff. That's not to blow our own trumpet, but we know our own. Yeah, we know our own stuff. Yeah. We talk about it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We listen to the problems every time an implementation happens. If it goes well, if it goes bad, we know why it's gone bad. We know why it's gone well.
Sure.
And then that message we can relay to a new customer. But it's just overcoming that. It's just for the customer just to overcome that issue of, right, well, should we engage with a recruitment agency? Should we not? What do we?
It's almost seemed like a bit, not like dirty, a little bit like.
Do you know what it feels like? It would seem like we can't give in yet.
Yeah.
We can't give in. We can't. You know.
Bit stubborn, a bit reluctant.
Yeah, but you know, if customers could see the amount of customers we've actually helped navigate this first stage, second stage, post go live, and then the ongoing support that we can provide with resources in the Workday market, it's so beneficial. So beneficial. I can't. You sort of want to shout it, you know, but you
shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah.
Get you a megaphone and stick you
Thanks,
on top
mate.
of
Yeah, I'll do that.
Brighton.
Yeah, I'm just going to walk around.
Stick on the roof.
Yeah.
Fair enough. To be fair, that's covered a lot of interesting points, to be fair, in the Scandinavian market, or just the market in general, to be fair. And we've gone through it really fast.
Thanks.
That's absolutely whizzed through it.
Yeah. But it is a growing market. That's you know, if people are looking at the customers in those regions, I mean, they're amazing. I mean, you know, just for example, if you're looking at sort of high tech or tech companies, I mean, you've got Spotify, Klarna. I mean, these are amazing. Volvo, Polestar. I mean, there's some really cool companies in that region. It's really nice to see that innovation, and you get to work with these companies as well that are producing this stuff, which people might not think they need, but actually it's the next step in our evolution, kind of thing. You know, it's really cool. Really cool.
Super interesting. Now let's get a bit more down to you and kind of what makes you tick. To be fair, obviously I know, you know, you've obviously got a bit of a love for the Workday market. You know, you can talk about it for about 20 minutes.
20 minutes,
good,
yeah.
But getting to know you a little bit better, kind of talking to anyone who's listening to this that has maybe seen your stuff online, seen your jobs or whatever.
Yeah.
Wants to get to know Greg a little bit more. What does he get up to? So, you know, outside of Focus Cloud, outside of your Flexi Fridays, outside of the London office, what do you get up to?
Well, I've got a beautiful family and two little girls who are my interest. So I spend a lot of time with them. The girls have got things they're doing. They've got their own little social lives and activities that we get involved in. So my time away from work is time with the girls, time with the family.
That's good.
But I do enjoy. I mean, I used to play a lot of golf. I'm going to try and get back into that. I know Lloyd's trying to get me out on the golf course.
Lloyd and Mark are
so's Mark as
all
well.
over that.
Yeah, so
you need to give them a bit of a schooling.
I need to start
to get a bit of false confidence, I think.
I know, I can see that. I might have to bring them down a peg or two, so he says.
I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah,
we might have to video that one.
But I like riding motorbikes as well. That's another thing I enjoy.
Nice, yeah. Always whizzing around.
He was down
there today, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Also, so
at the legal limit though, Ryan.
Obviously.
At the legal limit, yeah.
So what I like to do with kind of any guest that comes on here is talk about a bit of tech they can't live without.
Right.
So, do you have a bit of tech you can't live without?
Do you know what? I'm gonna have to admit that and you probably know that I'm very old school. I could probably live without tech. I must admit. He says. I probably couldn't.
I'll take your laptop away and have a Rolodex.
Well,
tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and do you know what? I'd love to try that. I would like to try that. Tech, in work or out of work?
Whatever.
Well, I can't do without tech in work.
Sure.
Yeah. And actually, that is one thing that we don't go short of is tech.
Yeah, we've got a massive tech stack.
Is tech, yeah. So we're grateful for that. Outside of work, tech wise, what couldn't I do without? What couldn't I do without? I don't know. You got me there. I'm not techie.
No.
I'm really
back
not
to
techie.
basics.
I'm back to basics. Yeah. I've got analog watch. I don't know, mate.
All right. Okay. Let's go.
Let's go. Skim over that one.
Yeah. Something.
Coffee machine.
Coffee machine.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Fair enough. So something non-tech then.
Non-tech that I couldn't live without.
So like, Matteo's given me books. I think Joel.
Yeah. I mean,
what did he give me? I can't remember what Joel did. What did Joel say? Simon was like food.
Yeah. No, I'm a big reader. I could go with Matteo on that one. Barbecue. Is that technology? Barbecue technology? No.
Caveman.
Barbecue. Yeah. Fire pit. There you go.
Pit, yeah.
That's my technology.
The sun's coming out, so it's barbecue weather.
Yeah, give me fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. What about you say like reading there. What about one book you'd recommend to anyone listening that you would kind of say, look, if you've got 5 minutes, give this a little go. See how you find it.
The Game of Life and How to Play It.
Okay. What lessons can you
Everything.
expect?
It's the game of life and how to play it. It's a psychological take on life. Simple.
Cool.
It's simple stuff.
No, I love it. So obviously today we've been doing loads of filming, loads of content, and this is like the back end of the day. So forgive us if we're a bit tired, bit we whiz through stuff. We're going to see more of your videos, more of your cheesy grin. Yeah. No, I need to. Yeah, I tell people I don't enjoy them, but secretly I think you've enjoyed yourself today.
Yeah, no, it's been fun.
This last half an hour.
No, this has been fun actually.
You set yourself up, and once you get going, it's
I do like. I mean, I like all the content stuff. I think that's pretty cool. I haven't been involved in that yet.
You only get to do the easy bit.
What the
talking
on
bit,
camera?
Yeah,
that's the hardest bit. Pointing the camera's easy.
Someone's got to cut it up and make you look good.
No, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. And now we're in the new office as well. Once we're all up and running there, I think we're probably going to see a few more of us doing it. Because you can see that the was it LinkedIn like videos?
Yeah. The algorithm, ROI,
algorithm.
There
you go. That's how techie I am, right? The thingy. The thingy loves a thingy. Yeah,
absolutely. So a lot of these big podcasts are kind of built, kind of structured to talk a little bit about obviously Workday and the ecosystem and what you work in, but also to kind of show a little bit about the people that kind of work inside Focus Cloud. Now, for anyone watching these videos that is looking to get into recruitment, or is thinking, I don't know about Focus Cloud, I'm not sure, sitting on the fence, maybe like you were at the time, what would you say to them? Maybe to maybe encourage them to join us or think about recruitment, even if they're just thinking about recruitment in general, if it's just going into recruitment as a whole.
Do you know what? I've had a very successful life to this point. If I was to disappear tomorrow, and I don't regret anything I've done, golf wise, work wise, but there is one thing that I wish I was told about when I was younger, and that was recruitment.
Really?
And that sounds so, doesn't it?
Yeah, but, very.
But it's not, because I think what it can teach you as a person, the skills you can learn in recruitment are second to none. I think you learn such an array of skills, whether that be your ability to speak to people, sort of being a bit more outgoing, understanding people, listening. I mean, listening is underrated. Listening is something that we should do a lot more.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that recruitment teaches you. But a lot of the skills, a lot of the soft skills, hard skills that recruitment teaches you, it just transcends. And so you can either stay in recruitment or you can utilise what you've learnt and go and apply them somewhere else. So recruitment, I think, even on these career days, do we still have career days?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Career days. Recruitment should be something that's promoted massively, because the thing is, you can, if we separate it in two, so recruitment itself and all the skills that you can learn in recruitment, not only will set you up for the next stage in your career if you don't want to stay in recruitment, but also from a financial point of view as well, you can accelerate your life.
Absolutely.
As well. I mean, the rewards are very good, but it comes with hard work.
Sure. Cool. No, that's a great insight, and I think a lot of what we've covered here kind of shows off different aspects of it, whether it's the beginning of your journey at Focus Cloud, or how now that you kind of quite clearly know the Workday market and everything in between. But no, thank you for joining me for this brief whistle-top tour. I think it's probably about half an hour in the end, as opposed to Simon's 45-minute episode and just waffle on. No, absolutely. So, Greg, absolute pleasure to have you on. I'm sure this is probably the first of many that we'll see you, and look forward to seeing you on a few more videos in the near future. yeah, cheers for listening. If any of you want to reach out to Greg or myself or anything else, then feel free to get in touch. Obviously, we're on LinkedIn, or just pick up the phone, drop us an email, whatever it's going to be. But yeah, see you next time.